Hey, everybody. It's Monica here with 22 Social on this beautiful July. Well, it's not that beautiful here, but every day's, it's what you make it, right? It's a little bit overcast here in Northern California. 22 Social's headquarters down in Southern California, so they usually have better weather than I do, but I'm up here in Northern California. So, and it's just me today. Let me make sure I have this all set up correctly. There we go. Hey, how's everybody doing? Go Niners. Super excited about the Super Bowl. I'm a huge football fan, in case anyone hasn't noticed. I used to have a bunch of football stuff behind me. I try to change my office layout periodically. So this is my latest, setup for New Year's. But yeah, super excited about that. So let me know where you are visiting us from. It's just me today. Renee's behind the scenes working with the team with some cool stuff coming out. So as soon as that's done, we're going to let you know. But yeah, we have more surprises and more, updates and stuff to share with you in the coming weeks and such. So, hey, Kay. Yes, you can ask questions. Actually, today would probably be a good day to do that. I'm going to do an actual demo. So the way we kind of normally present for those who are with us every week is going to be a little bit different today. I'm going to do it a little bit out of order, just because I'm going to actually be talking about the product and, the platform, the software. So I kind of want to go over what that is before I just start jumping into it and not assume that everyone here today knows exactly, how to install an app and all of that. So, forgot to put this on do not disturb. I have this checklist of things that I do before I go live, like, remind my mom to pick up the kids from school. And if they're walking home, unlock the front door, put your phone on do not disturb. So a little hectic today. Hey, Casey, how's it going? All right. So let me switch to my presentation here. It should come up there. One woman show. So I will do my best to make sure I am monitoring, the playback and the comments. As well as presenting without messing up, all that good stuff, right? I'm going to do a lot of screen sharing today, so I hope that doesn't slow things down usually when I've got a bunch of tabs open. But so far, so good. I don't see any issues with that. But I'm going to do just a general walkthrough of the app setup just because we've had so many new features. And then I'm going to focus on something we really haven't touched on in a while, the CRM integration. And I've seen a few questions about that in the Facebook group. So, Renee noticed that too. So we were talking and thought this would be a good time to do that. Also, I know a lot of you have been asking about the support site, some of the, the help articles. We're transitioning onto a new platform. So that's going to take a while to get those all back up and running. But hopefully today I can help you with, a little piece of it. Maybe over the next few weeks, that's what we'll do. We'll focus on, just updating some of those tutorials. So if there's anything particular, go ahead and ask. If you took the time to be here live, that would be great. And I will monitor those comments. And if for any reason I'm answering other people's questions and you've already asked, I usually say, ask again, and then this time put it in all caps. If I see a question in all caps, that means you've previously asked it and I missed it. That's what that usually means to me, okay? So let's make sure for our new guests or anyone who, needs a refresher or hasn't been here in a while, let's make sure you are in the right place. Is what we do here at 22 Social right for you? If any of these things do apply to you, please keep watching, because these are some important things that if this is you, then we know you're in the right place. And it's how we define our dream builders here. So number one, you're passionate about your products and services and the people who you help with those products and services. You really love what you do. You want to build a dream lifestyle doing this thing that you love doing, and find a way to really make it a reality. And you want to build this online, create stability, create recurring income, stop trading time for money, build a business that really gets you that recurring income so that you can have continued success. And in that success, growing a community. It's all about the people we help. And you want to be able to build meaningful relationships that are eventually going to lead to a community to be able to grow your business on social, using social platforms like Facebook groups, and really, compounding the effect by reaching more people and so on, expanding that and being able to scale. And you also got to be committed to it. So you'll need to be able to put in the time and work, showing up to the live trainings, asking questions, getting your checklists and figuring out what you got to do, taking those assessments, all of that helps. But making sure that this isn't going to just snap my fingers and it's going to be created. You want it to last. That dream business that you're creating, that lifestyle in the business that's going to fund it. You want to have a lasting impact. You want to have lasting income. You want that lifestyle fulfillment on a long-term basis, and not, so much a fly by night. So the way we do this is with a blueprint. Okay, that's one way to get it out of your head and actually something tangible, so to speak. So everyone uses a blueprint, when they're building something. So if you're building your dream, it should be no different. And the very first step, the foundation of that is really getting clear on what that dream is. It all starts with the dream. So what is yours? What are you working towards? And really taking time to figure out what that looks like, from how many income streams you have to, what you're delivering, how you're delivering it, and what your day-to-day looks like. And speaking of, what you're delivering, that's the next thing you've got to figure out. What is it that you can commit to and promise to deliver and deliver results with that thing. So if it's a product or a service you offer, what you're delivering is results, and who those results are going to be, who are the recipients of those results, really getting clear on who that is as well, because you are here to help people. As an entrepreneur, you're a problem solver. You usually have some type of solution that a certain type of person, and you need to identify who that is, could benefit from that. Once you know who that is, and you probably have this in mind already, the next step is to actually start inviting people to take you up on your offers, on those things you deliver. Whether they're free offers or paid offers, but doing it with a paid offer using this blueprint, it allows you to make income, make money, selling your services, either reaching out and offering one-on-one calls or just letting people know about, what you offer, if you know that they'll need help, or if you know a particular ebook you've created, or a digital course or membership that you have, even if it's in the early stages, could really help someone, offering that, inviting them to check that out. And this is really going to help you create systems and put things in place that will eventually help you grow. And when you're learning, these ins and outs, is my pricing right? Is my delivery method right? You won't know that, and you'll be able to nurture those new customers, or those prospects that are maybe potential leads, or new leads that could become customers or clients. You'll have a better way to do that, and have a systemized way to do that, by getting clear on these steps in this order, this foundational dream, deliver, invite, and nurture. When you get that down, that's when you can really grow and scale. And that's the fun part. Then you can start adding attraction strategies, and you can grow your existing business, develop your, expand on your, existing products or services. But then also, and sometimes those evolve, but also maybe adding new income streams or new products, or kind of reworking from scratch sometimes, because you've learned as you go, hey, here's a better way to, kind of 10x this, 100x this, and reach more people, create more income, and get to that dream lifestyle faster without spending more time or money, and in some cases spending less time. So definitely, a blueprint we want people to follow. And so we kind of, start out each week going over that. And then we'll either have some type of training. Today we're going to do a demo. And sometimes we do we do spotlights on some of our users who are, at certain stages. And we kind of highlight on that, because it's an hour, right? We don't really have time to get into every single step. But I'm going to jump around a little bit, because I am going to do demo and kind of show some of the features. So I want to talk about, what is this thing that we're talking about, this platform? If you're new to 22 Social, or haven't heard of it, someone invited you here. So it all starts connected to Facebook. So you will need a Facebook business page. But that's really the main thing you need. And I'll have a checklist for you today of, what those things include. But number one is a Facebook page. And the wonderful thing about that is that Facebook pages are free. I'm talking about business pages. They're easy to set up, a couple clicks, you can really make it your own. And they're not only they're free, but because they're public, they're also indexed by search engines. And in some cases, you don't even really need a website if you have a really great page set up here on a platform like 20 or like Facebook. And with 22 Social, you can then create, we call them apps, but they're like custom landing pages that can match your branding, but are connected to your Facebook, your free Facebook business page, so that you don't really need hosting or you don't need a website. As long as you have a business page, you can use 22 Social. And every custom landing page you can create comes with a mobile-friendly smart link that you can share online. You can link to places like when you share it on Facebook, you can do that. You can, highlight it there on your page. You can link to it I like to put it in my email signature. If you're creating like a special offer or something, I highly recommend putting it in the call to action button at the top of your business pages. That button there is super prominent on mobile. And if anyone wants demo on how to do that, that's something we could cover too. You could even text people this. It works on mobile devices as well. So with each of these pages, you get that. Put it everywhere, basically, is what I usually say. And so these customized pages that you create with 22 Social that are connected to your business page, they pretty much work like most website pages or opt-in landing pages that you see, but much, much better. Once installed and connected to your business page, you'll be able to customize it and make it look your own and put your own branding, text, videos, images, embed forms. We have widgets. You can sync it with like Messenger so they can contact you, and you have your own contact page on there and they message the page. So much more. And everything you create is mobile ready. So you'll get a mobile friendly smart link and you can share that. And like I said, it'll work on any device with anyone that has internet connection. So you can use 22 Social to create whatever you want. Facebook does currently limit us to 15, which I think is plenty, but 15 third-party app installs per business page. So you can create just like informational pages that are like ungated, meaning anyone on the internet can access them, can view them. They don't have to do anything to see it. Just like, if you just go to any random website. Or you can protect content or restrict access. And 3 ways you could do that are with, so you can do it for free. So they don't have to pay you to see it, but you can do like a lead gen. So this is your typical, like, get this item for free, or some people like to use it with joining their free group, or maybe they're offering some type of snippet, like a video that's part of maybe a larger course that they're selling, but they're giving away maybe a module for free or something like that. Webinar registrations are popular, contests and sweepstakes. So lots of ideas that's one way to restrict access, right? They have to opt in. They have to use and we use the Facebook login to say, yes, I want access. You capture that information and now you give them this free thing and you're able to generate leads that way. You can also sell things. So you could do a one-time payment option where they pay you a one-time fee, a set fee for access to a course, some time with you. So maybe a one-on-one coaching call, or a paid webinar, like a master class or something where they're accessing you through some type of video conference, but you're selling either a digital product or your time. And that's a one-time thing. And it's really cool because we also have affiliate integration with that, payment processing, all of that is taken care of through the software. And then our most popular way to restrict access is a recurring payment. So that's like with membership, some type of subscription. And so you'll find we talk a lot about that because that's what everyone's using. I recommend, usually when I talk to a client, eventually I get them in the route of let's do a membership. It's not always right for everyone. So you have to figure out, what's right for you. It's based on all kinds of things, but that seems to be the most popular. It's a really great way to scale. And so you can set up recurring payments. So they'll pay you recurringly in order to access certain content that you've had restricted. So, what I like about this is gated content requires the Facebook login instead of like a traditional name and email access, which, that restricts content or content. We're all used to that, but this allows you to collect Facebook data, a login profile when someone wants access. It also protects your content more securely because people are a lot less likely to give away their Facebook login, right? Their personal Facebook profile, like credentials, than sharing maybe say a username or password, like with traditional membership platforms and things like that. So I really like the fact that you can use the Facebook login. You can also connect the Facebook profile to the payment profile. So for example, a payment processor we use is PayPal, and the name on PayPal doesn't necessarily match who their name is on Facebook, but with 22 Social, it connects the payment with the profile because that's what they use to log in. So it's pretty cool. So here's how that works, just kind of in a nutshell, and then I'll do a broken out demo, a walkthrough of how this works. But that smart link that you get with each app install, you share that online. In this example, we're looking at the post that gets generated when your smart link is shared on Facebook. So this is what it looks like in the news feed. Someone sees your post in their news feed or in a group or wherever you share it, and they click on it, or that button, your call to action button, or anywhere you have that, and they click, they're going to be taken to the landing page you created. And if it's gated, it'll have the gate side, which is what they see before they opt in. They'll have to log in and say who they are. If it's a paid gate, they'd have to pay, right? So I think in this example, this is just a free access to a download. And when they click through, they're logging in with Facebook. So this way they're able to just in one click say, yes, this is me. They're going to confirm their profile, agree to your terms. And then when they hit the continue button, once they've confirmed, they get instant access to the rest of your content. So there's really two sides when you gate it. You have the gated side, which is what they see first, and then once they register, or if it's a paid app, once they pay, they then see kind of what's behind the curtain, and they can browse through whatever you have in there. If it's something to download, if it's access to a Facebook group, if it's maybe like password protected content, videos that you're hosting in there, some type of course, anything. It's all accessible by their Facebook profile. So as long as they're logged in on Facebook as them, they will always be able to see it. Anyone who visits that same smart link or clicks that same link that hasn't yet registered or paid will see that gate side first, where they have to say, yes, this is me, and continue. And on the back end, it's automatically synced. You're capturing a Facebook profile. It grabs their name, their email, some other information about them, all easily manageable from the back end, where you have all of your leads or customers or members, depending on what kind of app you've set up. It integrates with PayPal, Messenger, your CRM, which is like your email autoresponder, and we're going to talk about that today. I'm going to show you, I'll do a little demo on how to set that up. And you can easily manage members' access because it's synced with PayPal. So when someone cancels, they no longer have access. It's automatically taken out, and you'll be able to know that they don't have access. So it's easily removable from your group. Easy to search because they'll show up on a cancel list, and that person on the list matches who they are in the group. And with PayPal sync feature, which is available in your SRM, it's a little P button. So you'll only see this PayPal P icon here in your SRM if it's a membership. Or maybe even a single payment. Yeah, I think it is. But it's more important on a membership, because this is where if you click on it, it'll take you to that person's profile, and you can learn a lot more about, what type of what payment they are, who they are on. You can even adjust, what they're paying. You can, I think you can like modify their subscriptions and things like that. But there's no searching, right? Like who's Lisa Jones and who's ABC LLC, like, you know who it is, it's connected. So I really like that feature. And then we're always adding new stuff. So we've recently talked about the 22 Social Connect. It's a Chrome extension. We revealed this back in October. It was episode 91. This totally makes managing your membership even easier. So we're constantly adding new things like this, where you can like color code using an extension your members even before they join your group. So you'll know if they're a certain color, that you let them in. If they're not, or if they turn a different color, they need to be taken out, because that means they've canceled. And then in Messenger, you can also color code your contacts. So we went over a lot of that just in the last several weeks. So if you've missed any of that, I will do a recap of just kind of where you can get more information on some of those new features. But let me look at comments. So KC, Llama, let's see. On this platform in Facebook, can we have a subscription? But yep, so I just went over that. Awesome. Hey, Rajesh. Okay, let me see. Are you open to integrating with any other suite besides the one you already have? Sure. If you have a suggestion for that, definitely check that out. I don't know how well, it may not have been updated in a while. Let me see if I can switch over to screen sharing really quick. And I'll go to, let me see if I can pull this up. It's going to take a while to load because I'm switching over to a browser that has a completely different graphics card, so things will act kind of funny here. But if I remember correctly, I think it's notes, or is it updates? Yay, look, it's still that. At least the redirect still works. So 22s.com/updates. Llama, you asked about, let me know if I'm saying your name right. You asked about integrating with other CRMs. So yeah, this hasn't been updated in a while. So I don't know if this is still good. And Renee, if he's probably saying, no, don't use that anymore. But you could comment here. All right, that's taking a while to load. Down at the bottom. Come on, buddy. My page is getting mad. There's a comment. So at the bottom of here, so it's kind of just a log of all of our updates. But you used to be able to comment here. Another thing you could do is post it in our Facebook group and say, I'd like to add this CRM. Here you go. Here's under the comments. Like I said, this may be a little bit outdated, but at least it's still here. If you have a request feature, you can comment here. You can also enter a support ticket. So at the top of your apps on the help button, there's some information about how you can get into support. I believe it's 22s.com/contact. You can also, I would mention it in the Facebook group, and there's tons of people who would be able to help. But really good question on that. We integrate with quite a few. So I'm going to pull back over to, well, before I get into all of this, because let me see. Now that I have the screen sharing up, let me toggle back over to this. Let me just make sure. This is kind of a checklist of things. And I mentioned this back, I want to say it was episode 72. So do the math, right? I'll put a link to it. Where I went over like the demo for beginners. So if you look at like all of our past videos, just go to the videos tab here on our page. I went into this, the whole demo was on, for beginners. I think that's what it's called. It's called App Demo 22 Social for Beginners or something like that. It did have beginners in the title, but this is kind of a list, and I'm going to just list it here so you guys can, take a screenshot if you need to. Maybe I can copy and paste and list this in the comments, but you'll need definitely a Facebook page and a 22 Social account. And these things are helpful when you're editing your app. And I go into a lot more detail on that episode 72, but let me just list them here. How many do we have? I believe there's one more. So your branding colors and your fonts, if you don't have an idea of what that is, or even if you do, like, your colors, you have a certain brand color, but you don't know like what the hex codes are, you may want to grab that so that it's all branded. Including any images, logos, and things you want to use. And then you will need links to your legal notices. If anyone does not know how to do that, let me know. I can show you really quick today, how to do that. I have a one-shot infographic on that too, which I will comment with. Let me write that down so I don't forget. Oh, good. I just heard my kids come in, so they got home okay. And then when you're setting up an app, you can add your own contact info and social links to like all different contact sites, Messenger, Instagram, iTunes, Meetup, Twitter, Pinterest, LinkedIn, different groups. I think SoundCloud, Flickr, Skype, Yelp, like there's all these different links you could put at your footer. So if you want to put those on all of your pages, then knowing what those are and having those ready is a good thing to do. Also, you can pixel your app. So if you don't know what pixeling is, don't worry. We're actually going to dedicate a whole episode to that. Renee and I have been talking, so we'll do, how to do that. But for those who are like, I know what a pixel is, you can get your pixel ID from your ads account here on Facebook, and you can pixel your apps. So if anyone, I'm not going to do a whole like what's a pixel and all that, but if you know what a pixel is and you just want to know how to add it to your app and you're listening live, let me know. I could also show you how to do that. And then your CRM details. So whether you use MailChimp, Aweber, ActiveCampaign, Infusionsoft, there's so many that we integrate with, having your username for that. And then I'll go into what kinds of things, but you'll either need for some, you'll need an API key, not most, but I know off the top of my head, MailChimp you will. For most, you just need to know what your username is for that account. And then your form or list ID. And again, these vary by CRM. They're all different. And I'll kind of talk about some of the ones I'm familiar with and do some screen sharing on that. And lastly, what do you want the content to be? What do you want it to say? Do you have some copy written, like some welcome text or sales copy? And what types of media are you going to embed videos? Or do you have images, that kind of stuff? So this is kind of just a really simple, you could do a lot more, but these things I find are super helpful. They're usually the things you probably need most than anything else. And then everything else depends on, what you're building, because you could go 100 different directions. And then you want to install an app, which I'm not going to install from scratch. So I do have a screenshot here of how to do that, but then I will switch over to an actual app, and then we'll do some of these, do some live demos, and I'll kind of look at questions as far as what you guys are looking to get help with. But to either install a new one or your first one, you can do one of several things. At the top of any of your apps or your dashboard where you can click on My Apps, but you can get directly to that My Apps tab anywhere as long as you're logged into Facebook by just typing 22s.com/account in your browser. This should be done on desktop, okay? The apps and the landing pages you create, they're visible on mobile. The smart links let people view them and interact and, read the content and download whatever you have and watch your videos, all of that. But you, the admin, to edit it, to create it and do all the behind the scenes editing, it's really difficult to do on mobile, just like I wouldn't recommend designing your website from your phone. You want to do this on desktop. So 22s.com/account on desktop will take you to that My Apps tab. And then just click on the green, install another app, even if it's your first one. I think that it just says that, even if you haven't installed any. So your first app or another app, you can install. And then, like I said, at the top of any of your apps, you will also see that My Apps button. It looks a little bit different on the left side because it'll have some content and stuff related, or editing stuff related to that particular app. But the My Apps button that you see at the top of your main dashboard or on any of your app dashboards is the same, takes you to the same place. All right, so once you install an app, that's where I want to switch over to screen sharing, and then we'll talk a little bit more about the CRM. So there are a few here. So here's that My Apps tab that I'm talking about. You can get to it from any of your apps, and they don't even have to be an app that's installed on your Facebook page, because I know a lot of us don't have that. I'm starting to prefer having them not be installed. You can also see all of your apps here. So I know this is my dog trainer one we've used in the past. Let me close that tab so I don't make my system angry by overtaxing it. Here's an app install where I went to My Apps and I clicked on install, and I installed a new app, and it's not on my Facebook page. So see, it's the same destination. So this My Apps right here and My Apps here. Doesn't matter if you're working on it off of Facebook or within Facebook. It's the same place. I actually like this. It's less distractions. So it just depends on how your app was installed. But once you click here, you will install a new one. And when you install one, it's going to look a little blank. So actually, let's see if I'll go ahead and just install a blank one now. When I do this, it takes me a while because what it's doing is it's retrieving your pages. I'm an admin of, I don't know, I'm going to say maybe over 100 pages, just because I am, whether they're clients or members that have given me access, or I use set up test pages, I have a lot. So I don't know anyone else who's an admin of more pages than me. That's why this takes forever for me. I usually don't like to do this live. You shouldn't be sitting here looking at this page this long. It's just because it's retrieving all of my pages, and I have a lot. So While that's loading, I'm just going to take a quick peek over here. Questions? All right. It shouldn't take this long. It might just be I have a lot going on. A lot of stuff open in the background. I'm closing some of my tabs while I'm waiting. And refreshing here to see questions. Oh, there we go. Came up. All right. So all the pages that you are an admin of, you must be an admin. You can't be like an analyst or an advertiser. You must be an admin of the page. Will be available for you to choose from. So I totally forgot which one we're doing. Modern entrepreneur or something, right? Or is it under the, as the, yeah, I was looking under M. They'll be listed alphabetically. If you don't see it there, it means you're not an admin. If you have any trouble, you can click here to contact support. You can also ask in the Facebook group or message our page and we'll get somebody to you. So once you have your page selected, so I'm just going to add it to the same page. You just have to be an admin of it. Like I said, you have a maximum of 15. So another thing I want to point out is if you know you're like, hey, I know I'm an admin of this page. Why isn't it listed here? If you've already installed the maximum number of apps that Facebook allows you to add to a business page, it won't be on the list. So that's important to note too. So when you do that, this shouldn't take too long because now it's done looking for my pages. It should redirect me in a few seconds here. It's installing a new app. So I got to this. I'll see this little success. You can click here, but I'm just going to wait because in a few seconds it'll just show up. So here's my app, and this is what it looks like when you first install it. It's not all pretty and branded like this. We actually did this on a call recently. And you'll always start on the main content side. There's two sides. The app gate is the front end. This is what people will see before they have to say yes and they want access. Or if you're setting this up as a payment, you'll go in here and make those settings. Then they will get access after they pay if it's turned on. So you will need to turn it on. So that would be the first thing I would do when you install an app if you're going to set up a gated app, which is kind of what I'm going to go over today, just a general gated app and setting up the CRM. So I did that over here. I have a gate side and I turned it on, and then I edited this side offering a monthly and a yearly option for a membership. And then they're going to go to PayPal to pay. And once they pay, they'll be sent back here and they'll have access to my Facebook group. And then I don't think we finished building out the rest of the app, but you can do lots of different things. You can change layouts. Layouts is super important to mention that you can change the layout as much as you'd like without losing your content. Let me hit save and refresh. This gets a little big because it's a page within a page, which is nice, I guess, if you want it big, but my screen's huge, so I don't want it that big. So here's the content laid out like this, right? And I haven't done a third one, but it's not like it went away. It's just changing the layout, right? I'm going to go back to, I think what we had was something like this, right? Content with 2 columns. Save and refresh. So this is how it looks after you go in and edit it. And so if you want to know, like, how do I change the text? How do I add an image and all of those things? I do go over that in that episode that I mentioned. I do want to kind of focus today. I'm going to do a very high level on that kind of, how to install and how to edit, but mostly on connecting your CRM, because that's a question that comes up a lot. And I wanted to kind of focus that on here. All right. So let's see. Once you install it, it's pretty much each side has editing buttons. So another thing that people get hung up on is they say, every time I go here, I only see this side. You, when you're logged in as the admin of your own app, will always start on this side. So just remember to go over here to see the sales page of what it looks like before. So you'll want to set this up with content, and you'll want to set this side up with content. And then what you really want to make sure you do is when you're connecting your CRM is to follow the right steps, right? So I do have a screen here. Let me get back to this because I think I had this up And yeah, I did. So here's a little screenshot of just kind of the steps involved, and then I'll walk through it. But you need to connect the CRM, and this is done through the SRM tab, which I'll show you first. Then you need to go into your CRM, MailChimp, whatever you use, create your form or your list. It varies depending on which one you're going with. And then grab that ID or identification number to that form or list, and then come back and add it to the gate. So these are the 3 main steps of doing this. I'm going to walk through what that is. And I'm going to actually go back to this app here that I've already done, because I don't think we've done that step. So after you've edited, and just really quick, again, I did go over this in previous episodes, but because I want to just not jump directly to that, these orange buttons here for content, when you click that, that's what opens up these gray bars that allow you to then do all of your editing. So when I said know what you want to say, know what your images are going to be, if you want to have what your social links are going to be, because that'll pop up here, and you can put in, like if I turn this on and I put in like, facebook.com, whatever my page is, let's say it's this. I don't even have a name for this one. It's just it's got a number. But if I wanted to put that there, and you may think, well, why do they need that if they're already on Facebook? They may not be. If they're on mobile, they're not seeing your whole page. It shows up as a web page. It doesn't show up like it's built in here. Really important to know. And I have a video that goes over how to optimize for mobile and what that looks like based from the mobile perspective. I actually did that last week, I think it was. So, and I put some links in the comments there. So don't worry so much about, that. You want to be able to put that, if you want to send them to your Facebook, think of it like any web page where you would want to put like your footers. And like I said, you could put, there's so many in here. So the thing about this one though, is it's all or nothing. So if you turn it off, well, let me actually leave it back on preview because I want to save up at the top. As you're working, always come and click save. It's not an auto save like Google Docs. You do have to save as you go. If you try to refresh the page or leave, it may warn you that you haven't saved changes, but get in the habit of just coming up here and always saving. So when you come down to the social links, if you turn it off, I'm going to hit preview to see what that looks like. No links, and hit save. The next time I come back in here to do this, they're still there. You just turn them on or off. So they don't get deleted. The thing is what if I only want to show Facebook and Twitter and not YouTube? You just need to delete it before you turn it on if you don't want to show it. You can't choose which ones are on and off. It's either show them or not, and then figure out what they are. What I like to do is load all of mine, and then I duplicate from a base. Like I have a base with my fonts and my colors and everything, and then I duplicate from that. And then per app, I can come in and delete the ones I don't want, but I don't want to have to retype them each time. So I keep my list of like what they are, and then you can turn those on or off. So let's just hit preview. And so then it only shows 2. You can also add contact info. So these things are optional, turning all of these settings off, but for each section, it has text, media, and buttons. So that's how I got from this to this. I went in and just started editing it. The first thing I did was I updated my style. So you can change the, like what the font is. Maybe I want to use a different header font. So maybe something a little more bold like this, or, whatever matches my branding. I want my button colors to be blue, and my background is like, I don't know, maybe something like this. I don't even know if that's going to look good, but something like that. Ill gross. That's too close to the Seahawks. Seattle Seahawks. Yuck. So then, you could do something like that, and set that all up. So I like to kind of play around, and you also could choose from pre-made themes if you want. So all of the fonts and colors and stuff is preloaded, and then adjust to your liking. You'd say, well, I really like that, but not with green buttons. Can I change it to, a different color? You could do that. So I don't like that one. But maybe you want blue or yellow. So, and then you can change the font. Like everything else is nice, except I don't like this font. I want this font. So you can do all of that here. It's not the same thing as templates, which I'm not going to get into today. Templates is a whole nother, that's like pre-made and it will overwrite your content. But you can select this and then change your layouts. Actually, let me save. I always like to save as I go. And then if I want to change my layout to be, let's pick something on the end, like page 4 has some cool ones. Something like this, where I've got, I'm going to hit save. We can look at it big. It's pretty big though. I don't like looking at it this big. It's hurting my eyes. Just refresh if yours comes up big like that. Sometimes it's just like your graphics setting. Mine does that. But here I changed the layout. And so it's got a big, large portion at the top, 3 columns, and then a bottom portion. So things like that. We have some other demos on that, but I kind of wanted to go over that. So I did all that here and, my links and everything. The only thing that we didn't do on this one, and I'm not going to actually connect it to a CRM that's published or anything because this is a demo app, but I want to show you how I do that. So to connect your CRM, and that's like your email. So when somebody goes through your gate and gets the email that says, here's, welcome to the membership. In fact, let me show you that here. Here's kind of a demo I've done in the past. You may have seen this, may not. I use this one quite often. It's a client of mine, but when someone clicks through, like they see your maybe your newsfeed post or whatever, and whether they're on mobile or desktop, they get to your gate and they click that button that says, yes, I want to join this or enter. They're going to be taken to that Facebook login step. And that's where they confirm who they are, confirm their email, agree to your terms, and continue. Now, this one is a paid app. So before they get access, then they have to pay. So the first thing is who they are on Facebook. They pay. Great. Once they've paid, then they get access to, the complete checkout on PayPal. They get access to the other side. So it's the same app. It's just that's the gate side, and the one on the right is the main content side. And now they have access. Now, this is when, after they've paid and they got here, they are being sent an email. So you'll have access. They'll be green in your SRM, and they will get an email if you've set it up. If you've connected your CRM and you've set up some type of welcome email or confirmation response in your CRM connected to this app, this is when they'll get it. So that's what I'm talking about right now. This confirmation step right here where they say yes, they get taken to PayPal. They, that's the first step, right? They get confirmation. They say, yes, that's me. They show up in your SRM, but they're still grayed out until they pay. This happens very quickly unless it's an abandoned cart issue, then you'll know. But they're going to confirm all of that. And then once they pay, then they get access to the content. And that's when the email gets sent to them. So you'll get a notification from PayPal that says you've got a new member or you've got a new customer, you've got a one-time payment or a subscription payment. They will get an email that says, welcome to the membership or whatever, if you've written it. And that's what I'm talking about, is connecting that. How do we get them to get that email? If they're opting in for a free download and I want to deliver it by email, how do I do that? So let me go back to the screen sharing here. The way to do that is to go to the SRM tab right here. SRM stands for Social Relationships Manager. And when you're on the SRM tab, you will see these 3 gray tabs, and that's where CRM, and this is where your email autoresponder options are. And you will choose from this list. And so this is what we had a question about. Someone asked earlier, are there any other platforms besides these? So these are the ones we integrate now, but a lot of these got here because of people like you that said, hey, I want to be able to use this one. So let us know what that is, and we'll see if it's compatible. Usually they are. So these are all different. For example, if you choose MailChimp, you will need an API key. If you choose ActiveCampaign, you'll need your username. I think there's, I know Infusionsoft, because I have a client that uses it, asks for a machine name. So I'll show you like where some of these are, because I know I'm familiar with some of these platforms. I've used actually ConvertKit, ActiveCampaign, MailChimp, Infusionsoft, and MailerLite. If you're looking for a recommendation, ActiveCampaign is my number one for many, many reasons. Price being one of them and features being one of them. So there's different ones in here, but see how MailerLite doesn't ask for anything and I can just hit save. All right. So what I would do then for that one is once it's connected, then on this app, I switch back over to the AppGate side, the side where what happens when they click this, right? They're going to pay monthly or they're going to pay yearly, or you may only have just one button. But whatever happens on the gate, you want to then in your access buttons, this right here, this each button, depending on, I think you can have up to 4 now. We used to only be able to have 1. So if you missed that update, we did just unveil that recently. 4 buttons. This under here, for each button, you can set up different things. Now, not all of these options will be here. If it's like on the gate, on the main content side, you won't have this information. This is only gate side. And then on the gate side, depending on whether it's like a free or a subscription, then different options are available. So if it's a subscription, for example, we don't have like the affiliate option, but on a single payment, we do. I don't know if we have, oh, look, PayPal settings. There we go. If we go to a lead free, we still have CRM, but there's no PayPal or discount settings because there's no money involved on a free one. So depending on what you choose, this is where you will enter in your CRM settings and you will see this if you've connected it. So if you come in here and you go to SRM, CRM, it usually be like that, and you haven't done this first, what I meant to show is if you come to your gate and click your access buttons, when you go into CRM, it will tell you no CRM connected. You will only see, let me have them both up at the same time, side by side. I'll toggle back and forth. You'll only see the option to add a form or a list ID. Again, it's going to be different. MailerLite calls it data ID. You'll only see that if you've connected it first. So on this one, we didn't. It'll say no CRM. That's why that's your first step. So depending on what you choose, for example, I'm going to switch over to ActiveCampaign. That's the one I use. I recommended it for years before I switched over. Prior to that, I was using ConvertKit. Prior to that, I was using MailChimp. But if we connect, for example, ActiveCampaign, it's going to ask for username. Username is the name in front of active hosted. So if you have ActiveCampaign, I should have a tab here of all my CRMs. It'll say up at the top your username.activehosted.com. And actually, let me go to forms. And I have a subscription form here. And let me go to, I'm pulling up another one here, a list that I have. MailChimp, I had these open before. I want to make sure I can get to them. And I'll just focus on those two. Like I said, they're different because they both require a couple of different things. So in ActiveCampaign, it's asking for this. It's where you log into ActiveCampaign. That's your username. That's what you're going to want to put in here if it's ActiveCampaign. So mine is Monica Ramos. Once I do that, and I come back over to, I can close this now. So I do that under SRM, switch to your AppGate, and then you can edit your buttons. And for every button, you'll now have this connected. So that's connected to your entire app. And then by button, you could, have different lists and things like that. ActiveCampaign asks for form ID. Like I said, they're all different. So when you go into, I'll just go back one. When you go to forms and you click up here, create a form, you'll create a new form. I've already done that. And so as you're filling it out, say, what do you want it to say here? What do what all this? All of this that you fill out doesn't really matter because the form isn't going to live anywhere. You're not going to send people to this form. You're not going to embed it on a website. You're not going to do all the things you would traditionally do. You're only setting it up so you can get an ID, a piece of data that you can put back on your gate, because your form is this. This is your form. And that's the button that would replace whatever you create, like this submit button. People who don't have 22 Social have to create these and embed them on their websites. We don't have to create them and embed them. We create our landing page, and that's our button. And so we tell in the settings for that button, because I have two buttons here, button monthly, right, is set up for that at CRM, and then button yearly. And I could do two different ones if I wanted to have two different forms for each one. So for Active Campaign, once you do all that, you want to click on integrate. And you just need this little number right here. You don't need the whole thing. And it doesn't matter which one you click of these. I like link because then I could just look right here. And Active Campaign is simple because they start with 1. Your first form is 1. Your next form is 2. The numbers aren't like some long, crazy thing. So if I wanted to, if this was the form I was going to use, it's 14. I would come back here and I would say 14 and hit preview and save. And now whatever I've created an Active Campaign for that form. So when you create your forms, when you go back, you then, everyone's different, but you can say, tag them with this, subscribe to this list, put them into this automation, send them this. Like, you create all that on the back end with your CRM. So there's so many that you could use. But for each one, there's a different piece, what it's called. So with like what connects here for Active Campaign, it's called Form ID. For MailChimp, it's a little bit different. So let's do this other one as MailChimp. So remember, I didn't connect it on this other tab. I'm going to go to SRM. That's the first thing you do on the app that you want to connect. You first connect the CRM. You have to tell the app what your CRM is, then switch to the gate, and in the button, you identify what form. So I'm going to choose MailChimp. That's a popular one. MailChimp asks for an API key. And where you get your API key, I actually have a screenshot for that. And I don't think I put it in. I should have put it in the... I'll link to it afterwards. But you'll want to go up to here and click on account. My MailChimp account is really old. It's been years. I want to say 4 years since I've used it. But if I go and I think I can still access account. Yeah, my account's disabled because I paused it 3 years ago. I paused it. You'll want to go into extras and click on API keys. When you click on that, you'll get the API key. You only need one API key. So if you already created one, when you go to that page, it'll show it to you. Copy that, and that's what you put in here is your API key. Then, so let me just, let me see if I can create like a dummy one. May not even let me. Let me just create like this one. And I'm going to put it here. So I create a bunch of dummy ones because I do this training a lot, but whatever your API key, again, you only need one unless you're using it for other things. You could label it as 22 Social. As long as you have one of your API keys, any of them that ties you to MailChimp, then you just hit save. So some require extra steps and some don't. One of the things I wanted to point out with Infusionsoft, people ask, like, what's the machine name? Because that one's crazy. It says machine name. Machine name is the same thing as Active Campaign. It's the whatever's in front of your Infusionsoft. So let's see. I think I have a client. Here we go. So here's one of my clients, Infusionsoft. Well, I'm not logged in. Right in front of where it says Infusionsoft, that would be what they're looking for. That's your machine name. So just put that in there. And then you would put the form ID and so on and so forth. So let me just go back and make sure I have that in there. Okay, MailChimp. Now that this one has MailChimp, I'm going to go back to the gate, and we want to put the button settings. This is just a single one button, get free access, but we want to add them to our list. And here's where you want to put a list ID. And so MailChimp requires an extra step because it has the API key, but you're not done after that. You still need to go in and create your list. So I'm just hitting the backwards button here, the back button. So lists are now called audiences. So you can see like what, oh, that's not the page I want. Let me just click on the audience tab up here at the top. You can go to all of your lists if you want. I think it says view, or sorry, I keep calling them lists, but they're audiences now. So I have quite a few in lists here from a while back. What you want is the information, the settings of that list. So you can click on settings, or you can just click on the list. So let's say I was doing this one here, my Facebook parties webinar. I could either go here and click on settings, or click on the list, and then go to settings up here. So it's an extra step to have to do that, but you can do that, the settings for each one. Once you get there, you can then go to audience name and defaults, and it'll give you a link right here. I'm going to do it the other way because I think it's simpler if you just click on audience and it takes you to like all of your audiences, the audiences tab here. Just going a little bit quickly, but so you may have one for like monthly users, yearly users, free PDF, whatever. You can create different lists for different things. And I think here, if you just go directly to settings and scroll all the way to the bottom, that's the same number down here. So it's in two different places. I know it's farther down. I can't really scroll much longer, but that here is there. It's also available if you go to audience and defaults. It's right up here. It's the same number. There's just two different places. And it's actually been that way for a while. That's the same place I used to get it 3 years ago. But that's the one. Did I copy it? Let me just make sure I'm copying it. That's the ID. A lot of people say, well, how do I, put that in there? That you put here, that list ID for that group of whoever is getting whatever my thing is, preview. And that's what generates when they log in, that they get added to your CRM, and they're actually added. So when you go in, if Sally Jones goes through here now, I publish this, I save it, it's ready to go. I set it all up, and I share the smart link to the app, which is up here, copy the smart link, and I send it to her. She's going to land here and say, yeah, this thing's really cool. Log in and sign up. She'll see that login page, confirm her identity, and then have access to the other side. She will be in my MailChimp for that list. It'll say Sally Jones. I'll have a new subscriber to that list. That's how they get added. So if there's particular questions on certain ones, let me know. I will see if I can show those really quick. But like I said, there's a lot of different, there's so many, right? I just went over two. But the important takeaway is that you want to go to the SRM tab of your app once it's installed, and CRM. So SRM, CRM, and pick your provider. You may not need to do some things depending on what you provide. Like that one doesn't require anything. So I don't know what Constant Contact does. So there's a setup that'll probably take you to how to set up theirs. And so some of these have like help articles if you're using drip from lead pages. Depending on what you choose is what determines what gets asked for on the gate. So I'm going to look at questions before I kind of move on, because I know that was a lot. But hopefully it's helpful to someone. If I've helped one person. So yeah, Drip calls it a form ID. It's going to be called something: data ID, list ID, form ID. They're all a little bit different. But while our support site's down and being migrated into the new platform, I thought this would be a good one to share. Let me see. Okay, why don't you reach out in the Facebook group? You're asking, if you know of anyone that can help with this. This is something I do. But I can't take on any clients right now. But I do have a membership, which is pretty affordable, where I teach the stuff and do Q&As every week and do like app reviews and stuff like that. And as a member, you can get a discount on my one-on-ones and things like that. But I'm pretty booked right now. But check the Facebook group. Sandy, you're watching on YouTube. Yeah, bounce back, Sandy. And actually, if you watch episode last week, I want to say, was it last week? I don't want to open the tab. Go to the videos tab here on our page. Well, you're watching on YouTube, but when you go to Facebook, the 20 social videos tab, I'll link to it in the comments here at this timestamp. We're about 1 hour in, so I should probably wrap up. But I don't know if it was the last episode or the episode before, but I went over feature updates. The second half of that goes over all of them. How many subscription options can you set up in PayPal? How many subscription setup options can you set it? Well, an unlimited. Are you talking about per app? Per app? I think it's just, well, I guess you could do if you wanted to. Let's look at this. If you wanted to go in here and make this, you can have 4 buttons on the gate now. That's one of the announcements, Sandy. I don't know if you knew that. We don't have to have a separate gate for yearly or monthly. So if you wanted to, you probably could do a subscription. You could do 4. You could do a, let's say a weekly. And then my next button, I would do monthly, quarterly, 6 months. Like, you only get 4 buttons, so you can't do 5. But if you wanted to do different types of subscription options, all for the same program, you would just, each button would be a subscription. And you would just choose a different type of subscription for each one. I don't know if that's what you're asking, but and then for the CRM, you could use the same one on all of them. Like, you don't have to have a different list, but if you wanted to segment, like, these are my, like, I like to know who my yearlies are, who my monthlies are, and who my one-time or lifetime access are. So I tag them in Active Campaign as such, but they all get the same welcome email. So they all get tagged before they get into the automation series that sends them the welcome. That way I can follow up accordingly. But that's an option. It is a lot. If I spent just 15 minutes talking about one little thing you could do, you could learn a lot. It's just that the platform is massive. It's why I got on board. I've been a 22 social user since 2014. I dropped every other platform because it really does just about everything. Yes, it can be overwhelming because of that. All right, 2 pay and 3. Oh no. So you mean like, that I believe that's on the wish list. It's in the works. You're not the only one that wants that, but I think you're talking about where you can offer pay over time, right? In 3 easy payments of, yeah. You would have to you'd set up a subscription for that, and then you'd have to manually stop it. So like, another reason I love Active Campaign, I can go into Active Campaign, create an automation that says, when they come in through this list ID, start counting down after 3 months, or, I would probably I'd probably start giving myself reminders 2 weeks ahead of time. So at 2 months and 2 weeks in, send me this email reminding me that I need to go in and stop the subscription on this member. And then I would just have a little list that I do. So lots of cool things Active Campaign lets you do. It's kind of like if MailChimp and Infusionsoft had a baby and priced it really cheap, it'd be Active Campaign. All right, so let me kind of wrap up because it has been an hour here, and I know that was a lot. And I'm glad you're learning, and that was helpful. Let me see if I can go back over here. For feature updates, these are the ones we've kind of gone over, recently, and these are some of the. Let's see if I have these right. Yeah, so multiple gate buttons we went over back in September. That's when we announced you can now have 4 buttons. That's episode 85. Then we unveiled the Chrome extension, which was huge, and we have made a couple updates, one just a couple weeks ago, but we announced that back in October. So that was a big announcement that we did, where you can have the 4 different buttons. And I did a demo on there too. I did an app install, and I did the whole setup on, what we talked about today. Today, I just skipped ahead to CRM because I wanted to focus on that. But if you check out, let's go back, episode 85 on September 17th, 22s.com/live/85. I go over a more in-depth setup for memberships on that. So that focus on that was setting up your buttons for membership. Focus today was connecting your CRM. And then the one back on, I don't have it on this list here, but, or this list, do I? No, but it was before. So it was probably back in the summer. I'll link to it in the comments where I did, a beginner's demo. So I'm not jumping to buttons. I'm not jumping to CRM. I'm actually slowing it down and just doing if you're new, here's how to get started. Then you might want to check that one out. Let me fast forward here. Yeah, so this was the 22 Social Connect. I went over this already in my intro. So very cool. Check out episode 90. Actually, I would go over, I don't have it on the list, but I want to say it was either 100 or 101 where I broke this whole thing down in depth. So let me just make sure that I have the right number on that and I'll comment with it. The other thing I want to make sure if anybody missed this, if you want to set up a membership, we actually break out all the components from the post to setting that up, that preview image, to setting up your gate and your copy and what to say, to setting up your main content and what to put on there, and how to set up your Facebook group and all of that using all the features in the group when you're doing a membership over a 5-part series. And if you go to 22s.com/notes/tutorial, we've put just the snippets that cover, so like the beginning part about your dream builder and like when we choose a winner at the end and all that stuff, we cut all that out. I actually went in and edited them all myself. And there's just the snippets of just the training portion of episodes, I want to say it's 89 through 92 or something like that. It's a 5-episode series. They're all there on that note. It's a Facebook note. It's on our page, 22s.com/notes/tutorial. Really helpful if you haven't done that yet. So this is actually a really good example of someone who's using those features, especially a lot of the new ones we've released for memberships, and having results, making that dream come true. And that's what we want for you guys. We want you to be able to see results like this. This could definitely be you. You just need to know, what do I do? How do I get there? What's the first step? And the very first step I would recommend, if you have not done so, is to take our Dream Builder self-assessment. It's completely free, and you'll get a lot of information and resources that kind of point you in the right direction. But based on that assessment and the answers you provide, it'll tell you what the right next step is for you at the right time. So where you are in your business, customized. So it'll be like a customized plan for wherever you are on that journey. If you're at the beginning, you're just learning, or you're starting to make some money and earning, or you're ready to scale, you'll figure that all out at our with our assessment. So 22s.com/dream. Check that out. If you're new to 22 Social and you are looking for a deal, at 22s.com/dream, you'll also be able to check out, you'll get that for free, but you'll be able to take a peek at what's involved in our Dream Builder bundle. We have this awesome bundle that includes a course. It's a Dream Builder blueprint course that breaks down all of those levels in module videos, where you can learn how to do a lot of the things we talked about today and things we've talked about in previous episodes, structuring your offers, systemizing everything, how you can move on and scale and grow. There's a tutorial in there, I think, on ads, all kinds of stuff. And along with that, you get the software. So you're not just purchasing software, you get the course bundled with it at a pretty awesome deal. So head over to 22s.com/dream. And you can then do both, right? Get the software, and then everything that we teach in the course is implementable with the software. So you're able to earn as you learn, right? And you can enter you can get your referral link and send people over for these free trainings every week and these interview series and different episodes we have. And just by sharing your link, you increase your chances of being entered to win this bundle. We give it away every week. So our winner for this week is, drum roll, please, Sarah Fisher. Yay, Sarah. Congratulations, Sarah. You just won our bundle. So you get the Dream Builder Blueprint course, a free year of 22 Social with all of the features, unlimited members, up to 3 business pages. So that would be like 45 installs, plenty of installs for your landing pages and custom apps with the Blueprint course. So congratulations. Contact us here on Facebook. Just message us up at the top, message our page, and we'll get you all squared away. So I'm going to look one last time at questions. Hey, Sandy, can you add the Messenger overview link here as well? The Messenger overview link? Let me know what that is, Sandy. You may have gone already, but rewrite that maybe in the comments. We did today. So you got the notification on YouTube. You must be a subscriber. We don't normally broadcast on YouTube. We haven't in a while. Today was the first time, but I think going forward, we're going to do that. So we'll have it on 2 different places. But yeah, we're broadcasting live on our Facebook page and on YouTube. And I think I put in the description of the YouTube to come over here to comment because I'm not monitoring that page. It looks like that worked for you because you found us. Awesome. Good to see you though, Sandy. It's been a while. All right. Yes. Looking forward to having you. So hopefully, this was helpful, not too overwhelming. We have, there's just a lot of features. There's a lot, there's so much you could do. It's very diverse, the platform. And, this is just a small part of it. We do want to talk about, last week, Renee mentioned something about, we haven't talked about sweepstakes in a while, doing a lot of focusing on memberships. So sweepstakes is something that, you could use this for, and people go, oh, that we forgot you could use it for that because we've talked about membership so much, but we'll definitely talk about that. I think something else you mentioned on there was, I wrote in my notes, like a content flow. So lots of stuff in the works. We have some new features maybe coming out soon that we'll release, but I'd like to do a few more like this, where we're just taking a piece of doing some app demos on just a piece. Like today we're doing the CRM setup and just kind of hopefully help you out a little bit. So thanks for being here. I will see you guys next week. Hopefully Renee will be with me, but I'll be here either way. And go Niners! Woo! Yes. All right, everyone. Take care. Bye.